Hey, everybody, welcome to this week's Fateless podcast episode. Joining me from the Fateless team, we've got Sham here, and then we've got a couple special guests in Nicholas and Mighty Zoo. So I want to let you two introduce yourselves here, and we'll start with you, Nicholas. You want to give a little bit of a backstory on your channel and your gaming history and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so I just started a YouTube channel and a website for Godforge. I've been following most of the usual raid content creator, Chosen, Ash, Hellhades, Nub, and I decided, well, why not start myself and put some content out there and give me a little challenge. I always played game from old Pokemon on Game Boy to Skyrim to Mortal Kombat, so always been a gamer, and Diablo 4, everything. So really looking forward to Godforge and trying my hands on it and guess just discovering that new game that already looks so awesome.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Yeah, love to hear it. And then Mighty Zoo, go ahead.
Yeah, I've been gaming since 6 years old, roughly, starting with NES,
Yes.
Terminator,
Yeah.
Mario Bros. 2. So let's say a little bit OG. Then from about 9, started gaming on PC and still like Game Boy and consoles. And basically started playing gacha game like years ago. I started with Raid. I think Raid and Genshin Impact were my first gacha games. And that's how I knew, like, start playing more and watch Realms and other games. And then I suddenly decided it's time for me to do some content because it seems like a cool thing to do. So that's how I started doing content. I'm covering King Arthur at the moment mainly, playing some other games, Ethereum Restart a little bit, streaming a lot. That's um that's how it started now.
How is streaming going so far? I'm
I
interested to
mean,
hear like how things are going.
well, streaming goes. It's weird. It goes sometimes very well, and sometimes usually I have regular viewers that come in, but sometimes I will pop up like 150 viewers or 100 viewers. So that's sometimes like a little surprises here and there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey,
Um,
over 100 is very good live streaming. So yeah,
yeah,
congrats.
I was to say. But yeah, so I guess just to kind of kick the conversation off, I think you guys probably know a little bit about what we're up to for Godforge. It sounds like you guys have followed along with the a little bit. I'm not sure exactly how much you guys have been following the story, but yeah, man, we're here. We're getting real close to that alpha. We're gonna start it. We're gonna announce a lot of stuff soon. So some stuff I still have to kind of do the old one of these things on, but yeah, we've got lots. I'd love to hear whatever questions you guys have, and we can kind of like bounce it around and talk a little bit about what you know how what you guys are doing relates to it. And yeah, let's just hop into the discussion.
Yeah, or even any input you guys have, something
Yeah.
that you like or don't like based on what you've seen so far, feel free to throw it out there. And I'm super excited that we actually have like a founder here today, so I don't have to sit here and like worry, about what I'm doing wrong. I can blame Sham, and got him right here.
Throw me under the bus. It's fine. It's
Very
fine.
convenient. Yeah, so I mean, with alpha, what we are trying to do just add some value to the alpha test and to the whole community. And like me and my viewers, we would like to know what are your expectations from the alpha testers and how we can really help you guys to make this game as good as possible.
Yeah.
So, so that would be like the main question, really.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I guess that's a great way to start the conversation off because when we were thinking about what we were gonna do with the alpha and then into the beta and some of the like friends and family tests and stuff like that, you always have to think like, well, what do we want out of this, right? What is the point of doing this? Is it just to make sure that things work? Is it just to to feel how some of the systems work? And I guess I'll just tell you the things that I'm most interested in personally. So like first, obviously we want to make sure that right now we're driving towards a zero bug build for what we're gonna put out to you guys. So I think Simon put out a video recently where he was like, oh, that's a fun one, like surprise. I've
He was
and
talking
that
about how
kind
he
of stuff.
found like 12 bugs in 3
Yeah.
minutes.
And that's kind of expected because we've had a lot of moving parts for a long time, and now we've grinded a lot of those parts in one section of our like one branch basically, grinded that all to a halt, and now it's like, okay, now fix all the bugs that we have here so that it's a much more polished experience for you guys, so that when we do, we're trying to measure something that is actually interesting versus just, yeah, we have 25 bugs in this one spot. We knew that they were there and we need to fix them. That's not really useful information. So yeah. So first thing is obviously get in front of you guys and see like, okay, how does it feel? And if you discover a bug, obviously we would very much appreciate people letting us know, hey, when I do this, this happens, and I don't think it's supposed to do that. So that's one, but some bug, I guess just posting. I think we're gonna have a private Discord for those that are in the alpha, or we're gonna have a section, I guess is the best way to put it. So bug testing. Then second is going to be about like the feel of the game. I'd say that this is maybe the most important thing that we want. Like we want people to give us feedback on like, we had a long discussion around the cameras, for example, right? And there's a lot of tweaking that's happening with the cameras, and we've built systems to make it very flexible. We can do all kinds of crazy stuff with the cameras. We can go, more aggressive, less aggressive, closer shot, further shot. So we just want to get some feedback from players. Like, how does this feel? Does it feel fun? Does it feel exciting? Am I wanting to play more? How do the two different cameras feel? And then, like very, very light testing of the core loop and the economy. I would say that that's pretty low in the early test. So just to give you a reminder about how this is going to work, there's 3 different tests. So there's alpha 1, alpha 2, and then it ends with a final alpha. So there's the first group would be an alpha 1. They'll get to test for a little bit. Alpha 2, test for a little bit, and then everybody comes together in the final alpha, and that's where we have this competition we've been talking about. And so that's when it's going to be most important for it to be like, okay, well, hopefully you've found and disclosed any of the abusive bugs that you can find. Like, obviously it's fun in this community to find a way to exploit something, but hopefully we'll close up as much of that as we can. And then by that time, it's like, all right, now it's time to compete. Like we understand how to use these heroes, how to build a team, how to build my gear up, how to build my heroes up, how far and how fast can I get to our final boss, and then how much damage can we do. So that was a long answer, but I think that kind of covers a lot.
Yeah, because there's another thing. Because in the past, I designed a board game, and how I was testing the board game, the mechanics works or they don't work. I was asking for the opinion of people, but very often, just watching players play, I knew if they liked something or they didn't like. Even if they said they like it, I knew they didn't like it.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but so how do you like juggle this in this online testing, which is hard to like really see people's real feelings or like excitement?
Yeah, so I guess I would say that it is a little bit tougher, and we have talked about some really interesting methods for actually doing some of the over-the-shoulder testing that you're kind of talking about, where because we're in a Discord server and we can say, okay, well let's invite a select few of, let's say, maybe the players that have gotten up to some level in the caverns, and let's watch them play. Let's just sit down and we have all this stuff, right? We can have them share their screen. We can watch their face. So you can get, it's not quite as good as me standing right next to someone like in a board game where you're at a board game shop, but it is pretty good information. So that's one aspect. Now that's not scalable, right? Because we only have so much time and players only have so much time, and there's only so many people that can do that. So from a scalable perspective, we have first of all, we have a great QA team that's gonna kind of merge in and help with a lot of the community managers that we have already kind of working. So Susie and Yuho has been doing a lot of stuff, and really all of us. I mean, we all kind of like work in the community anyway. So really, it's going to be gathering up sentiment, right? So I'd say that as a company, we're pretty damn good at sentiment analysis. Like we understand what the people like and what they don't like, because people like Brad, you've been working in front of an audience for so long, and that's what you do, like from a natural perspective. It's what you guys are doing now. How you decide to do what content is sentiment analysis. It's like, how do people feel about what I'm doing? So I think it's gonna be a lot of that type of stuff. Like we do want people's feedback. We want any feedback you have. I hate this. I hate this system. This looks so stupid. Why does this do this? This is amazing. We want that. Like just share. The more things you can tell us, the more information we have to make it better. So it's really going to be about taking in that information and then analyzing it.
So basically, when you ask for feedback, is that gonna be like surveys, or you expecting people to do like Discord posts? How do you want to collect all our feedback?
So yes, both. So I think we'll do, and again, a lot of this stuff is still, it's being finalized exactly what that format and the timing of each of these different things are going to be. But we will have surveys. We'll have a before surveys. We'll have after surveys, and we'll additionally have people monitoring Discord chats. Like we want, again, like I just said, we want people to be messaging. Mods will be kind of categorizing, gathering the information, putting it into spreadsheets, doing analyses on lots of different things, right? Again, sentiment analysis. So short answer, so long answer is that, and short answer is yes.
So basically, you're not looking for people to look for bugs. You're just looking to see if people are like, excited and what they really like and dislike about basically the game.
Yeah, no. So we have people playing the game right now a lot, looking for bugs, right? I mean, we're all doing that, and people, I'm sure, will find bugs. This is how this works, right? I've never played a video game in my life where I didn't just find even like a AAA game that was put out and it's been out for like a long time. You still always find a bug. So, but we're not like saying, hey, go actively be QA for us, right? Be quality assurance for us. We just want you to play the game. If you find a bug, honestly, if you find a bug and you don't want to post about it, don't post about it, right? Like there's no requirement. It would just be, it will for sure help make the game a better game if you do. You know what I mean? And we really appreciate that.
Yeah. And about alpha, so we know what's gonna be included roughly, right? It's gonna be the tower mode, but there will be no summoning, and there will be no clans, no campaign. So that's gonna be
It's really very
tower.
much, yeah. Well, actually, that's good. You sum it up. What else? What do you understand of it before I jump in and
Yeah,
explain?
so I understand that's gonna be just the tower. So we probably start with selected champions. That would be interesting to know how many champions, if you can reveal that, we will have for alpha. But is that gonna be a competition between players that we compete who gonna climb the fastest on the tower and have the fastest clears?
You got it. I mean, you're nailing it. So I think you summed it up pretty well. I think I don't know if the number has been said, but I'll say it here actually because I think that it's it's not that big a deal. So it's going to be around 65, and it may be plus or minus a couple. There's a couple that we're just like, is this gonna make the cut? Is this gonna work the way that we want it to? Heroes, the starter champions. You're right. We're gonna get a start. You guys are gonna get a starter champion. You get to choose who you get to get in there. I think Simon showed that a couple times. The different starter heroes. And then yeah, you'll build your roster. So to say there's no summoning, we've kind of what we've done is, we really want the Godforge summoning to feel so crisp and visceral and like great. And we were like, you know what, this isn't the way exactly that we want it to be quite yet. And so what we did was we said we will actually have summoning effectively. So you're going to be dropped heroes at heroes, but it's as if you were dropped one of our, if you're familiar with Raid, they're called Ether Stones, but one of our shards, right? One of our character. And so it's like you're immediately opening your heroes in a sense. So you'll still be getting lots of heroes. You'll still have ways to level up those heroes and to upgrade them and all that type of stuff. You just won't be going and doing the gotcha thing quite yet. And we won't be exposing a lot of the story, which has been amazingly crafted by kind of our narrative. And yeah, so that's another reason why we went this direction, because we were like, well, we really want that first time when someone's coming in. We are leaning, we're not leaning heavily. It's not like a story driven game, but we are giving people a lot of great backstory and lore to really connect to their heroes, to the world, what's happened, how we got here, how all these gods, myths, and legends kind of got are put together. A lot of that stuff isn't really going to be exposed during the alpha. It'll be exposed, your first time playing the game. So, but yeah, starter hero, you won't be pulling these ether stones. You won't be opening these ether stones, but you will be getting heroes in a similar way to as if you were to have gotten a drop in that way.
And how does the progression in those 10 days of wave compare to the progression of the first day on launch? Do you want some similar progression of the early game feeling, or you want tons of max hero to see people really testing deeply some really crazy combinations?
So I guess philosophically, I guess the way to look at it is we're doing a couple different things. We want the very early to feel somewhat close, if not a little bit accelerated, to the way that you would feel when you're initially playing the game, just to get a good gauge for how that feels. Because if people are like, "Oh, this is so slow or so fast," or whatever it is, then we get a good gauge for that from that alpha test, right? As you progress through the caverns, and there's 150 levels, right? We've broken it down into I guess sections and tiers. So if you think about a section would be 10 levels and a tier would be 30 levels. That's a good way to I'm spoiling some stuff here, but that's fine. You guys, it's not that big a deal, right? So so if you think about so there's 5 tiers, there's 15 sections, and as you progress, there's going to be kind of like a shift, and towards the very end, what we're going to do is we're going to make it much easier for players to kind of go wild. So early on, it's going to be harder to get lots of like a big density of legendary heroes, of epic heroes and stuff like that, because we want the game to feel exciting, and like we want you to really feel that sense of min-maxing and understanding who you should be playing, stuff like that. And then once you get kind of like towards the end game, now it's like a big explosion of okay, now you can try lots of different stuff, right? Much easier to get legendary heroes, to get them upgraded in the various different ways that we have, to get the different weapons. You'll get all kinds of different. You'll basically at the very end, so that when people are competing for what they're competing for, which is like the maximum damage, then beyond the fact that you get to the top, but the maximum damage against the final boss, they'll have like kind of an even playing field in a sense, right? So it's going to be, yes, it's going to be about grinding and getting the right teams to get there, but then at the end, it's like, okay, but now it's about figuring out the coolest combination to face this enemy, right? To the best team, and I think that's going to be we'll get a lot of information about from this, right? Because I'm not 100% sure this is the perfect approach. We will understand so much from you guys. You guys are going to give us this feedback and say like, "Ooh, I didn't really like the way this felt," or "I hated this," or "It feels like I can only use this champion," or whatever it is, right? We need that information so that when we go to a closer to a full on live product, you guys are happy, right? You guys are having fun and that type of stuff. So.
And what percentage of player do you expect will reach the Fafnir fight, like the final stage?
I would suspect somewhere in the like, well, I guess it depends on your guys' passion. I'm going to say it that way, but I think it's like 1 to 10%. It's a pretty big range. I think that right now we're tuning it, and we're going to aim for something more in the like the 5% type of deal, like for people to be able to actually reach that pinnacle. So a lot of it's going to be about how fast you guys can get there. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Like a lot of this is going to be, like you said, expect to get there. There's a lot of things that we haven't gotten to test with a large group yet, so we're excited about that.
Now, I don't want you guys to have all the fun. Do I get to also grill Sham here from the perspective?
What? No.
Of because I know if I was a player, like if I was coming here not working for Fateless, a question that I would ask is, now you mentioned we don't do the Aether Stones summoning, we acquire heroes as we clear the tower. Are these heroes random or guaranteed? Is there some RNG in that? Can I restart my alpha account 10 times until I get Zeus while I'm clearing? How does that kind of work in the summoning?
Okay, so I won't be able to. I won't give the full breakdown. I'll give you some good information about this. But so short answer is like yes, especially early, we're gonna have guaranteed drops. So we're gonna let people build out a reasonable team in the very early, just so it's like you have something to keep you moving through the tower, and you're not doing exactly what you're talking about, which is restarting until you hit this this one champion that you want. Later, we'll call it early mid. You'll start to get there will be some guaranteed exciting stuff for you. I don't want to I don't think I can answer that one fully.
This
I
is
guess,
why I
but
wanted to ask you just to.
yeah, I don't think I can answer that one fully. But yeah. But I guess from a philosophical side, I'll go from what we're thinking more than what's exactly going to be happening. We really don't want people to be sitting there feeling like they have to restart until they get the right champion. That's not fun for anybody. It's not good. It's not good information for us. I mean, it is good information for us, actually. If everybody wants the same hero, now we know. But it's not great information for us. And it's not fun for the player, right? You don't really want. It's not to get to X stage. Be like, oh God, I got this character again, and your buddy's like, oh, I just got this character, Zeus, and you're like, oh, like I gotta do this again. Like that sucks. That's not fun. So we really don't want that to be the thing, and that's a big part of why at the top of the tower, at the end of it, we're really making it so that you can go wild. And then the other thing I'll say that we're doing for these guaranteed champions is we're really focusing on making it so you do have a good way. Everyone gets a decent starting point. Everyone's going to get a decent starting point. And, like it might not be the perfect starting point that you're looking for, and there will be people that will re-roll. Although I will caution you on the re-rolling thing. Note that everyone's going to be on a white list in a sense for their account. And so that means that your email address is going to be bound to that whitelist slot. So if you restart, if you want to try to restart your account, and currently there is a way to delete your account. We're not going to make that super easy because that's not great. We don't really want people to accidentally delete their accounts. So just pay, we don't really have a great opportunity to be doing this because we don't want you to. We want to feel, how was this experience? Did we get you to a good spot? Do you feel like you can progress? Do you feel like you are having fun? We want to try to answer those questions.
And is it possible to stream alpha?
Yeah.
So that's going to be open for us.
Yeah.
Encouraged.
Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what we want.
Yeah. So that's great. That's great.
Yeah. No, I mean, we this is the thing. Like, we're pretty damn transparent about as much as we can be without spoiling things. We don't want, it's like someone talking about, a great anime or something like that. They want you to be excited about it, right? But they don't want to spoil all the cool stuff that's going to happen. So we want that. But then once you're watching, you can bring your friends in and have them watch with you. That's cool. That's what's exciting about that's kind of the way we're thinking about this and approaching this.
I have a lot of viewers that are opening separate bank accounts to save for Godforge. So yeah, so my community is very excited.
We love that passion. That's great.
Yeah, they're very excited. Some of them. Yeah, so we are very excited. I have one question about Godforge. So what is your vision for that game to make it will make it different from other gacha games so that people rather play Godforge than any other game?
I mean, I think we have a lot. It's like there's a lot of factors that kind of come together for that experience. Because I think the gacha game experience, in a lot of ways, like we talked about this when we were doing an investment round, like 80% of it you don't really want to change, right? You understand that you want to feel that feeling of progression. You want to be collecting heroes. You want to be gearing up those heroes. There's like a lot of things that's like, we're doing the things that you're going to expect and you're going to want, right? Then there's like that 20%, right? I would say. And a lot of that is actually wrapped up in, number one, IP. So, we've built this really cool world, and people just like, some people love Star Wars, and so they play Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Some people love Marvel, so they go play Marvel, right? We want people to really love Godforge and want to come in and play these heroes. So that's one element. People are going to, we're establishing a style, not just with our 3D heroes, but you guys will see, I think you maybe have seen one iteration of this for the cutscenes, where we've got this very unique style that Mike Berry, shout out Mike Berry, and the team at Light Farm have built out for the cutscenes that we really believe is going to be something that it's actually worth watching. Like most games, I'm that guy who's doing the same thing that you guys are probably doing, which is like story. What? No, skip. And maybe I'm going to come back like later on. We think people will probably do. There'll still be most people will still be skipping, right? But some people are gonna. But some people are gonna be like, oh, I love this hero, and there's a cutscene about that hero. I want to go check that out. So there's that, and then, I mean, I would say that our weapon and imprint system is actually very unique and very interesting. It opens up a lot of possibilities for team building and for kind of hero customization. And we've talked about reliquaries and kind of like how that works in general. So I'll just kind of lump that into like the weapon system. I think that's maybe the most like that's the thing that I'm personally most excited about. So like, I think when I think about Godforge, I really think about, kind of your ability to take your heroes and not just have heroes, but also to imbue their power into these legendary weapons. I think that's a really exciting thing to do, just because it's fun, like thematically, but also because it's fun, systematically.
Will
Yeah,
there
I love that
be-
system.
Is there going to be some reliquary in the alpha?
So there will no, we've not. So reliquaries. Before I answer this question, wait, tell me your understanding of what you think a reliquary is. Before I make sure that I want to make sure I'm not spoiling anything.
Well, from my understanding, it was tied to the mastery system where you find some hidden things, Easter eggs in the game that unlocks some type of mastery that you can apply to every heroes that you got in your roster. From my understanding of what's been said about that.
Gotcha. So that's the mastery system. That's the mastery and achievement system. And that system won't be in the game yet. That is something that's a big one that we're designing still currently. We want to make that one feel really excellent. That's another one that I would say is like pretty unique to the way that we're doing things. But yeah. But so the reliquary system, and I'll just explain, it's fine. The reliquary system is there are hidden places in the game that have requirements for certain team compositions to find these places, right? These reliquaries, and those reliquaries are where you find the weapons of our game. Okay, and or target farm our weapons, I guess is a better way to put it. There you can get them in another place. So in the alpha, we won't have that part of the experience. There's going to be some target farming, and it will be exposed to the player in the sense that where you can go find certain weapons or certain types of weapons, but there won't be that kind of like restriction on it yet, because it's only, you guys have like 10 days. I think it's 10 or 11 days. And in that time, we really want you guys focusing on all the other stuff that we've kind of talked about. So hopefully that'll be another kind of like treat for people when they come into the beta and try those systems as well. But kind of, I'd love to push it back to you guys for a second. Like, what is your community most excited about, and that you guys have kind of like, since you've started talking about this?
I think for my community, like all people almost are excited because of the communication from the devs. I think this is your strongest really point and your strength, because all we are just used from all the developers, especially from Asian developers, like almost no communication, or there is no communication when it's too late and there's a big drama. Then maybe they will do something if the whole internet screams. And you are like upfront with everything, and I think my community just loves that. I mean, actually, I know they love that, and that I think this is the biggest strength, communication. So we know if there's something not working in the game, you're gonna address this and fix it. We know that if we don't like something, we let you know. You will look into it. So that's kind of like safe thing. Like, I know you've been talking about that in previous episodes, but you've been mentioning like having those long-term goals that you're trying to achieve, so you don't achieve everything in 2 weeks, so that you have reason to get stronger and have better teams. And that's what a lot of games are missing. that you can 2 weeks complete the whole game and then there's nothing really else to do in the game. And I think this is one of the things that Raid did actually work quite well, that you have a lot of things to work towards for many years to come. So yeah, this is the biggest strength.
That's awesome to hear, man. I think that's a testament to Simon and kind of like the rest of the people that, and Brad, doing this this podcast all the time. I mean, I think it's a big testament, and the community management, like, it's true. And I think that,
100%.
and I think a big part of that is that, again, we're all coming as gamers, right? Like we were all players in these games, and it's like, what's the biggest pet peeve? It's like, my biggest pet peeve is you get a hero and you start playing with it and it's broken in one way or the other, whether it's so overpowered that I could never consider playing any other hero ever again, or it's just like completely underwhelming and you're like, why did you even put this hero in the game? Like, this is a huge waste of time, or it's actually mechanically broken, but then it takes forever for that thing to get fixed. And it's like, did you not test it? Did you not at least test this and like, and then ask people that want to give you feedback, right? You guys, this is the biggest thing, our strength really is our community. I agree with that, because it's like, players want to give feedback. They want to say like what's fun, what's not fun, what's interesting, what's boring, what's broken. Just listen, man. Like, we love it. We love listening to you guys. So, what about you? What's on your end, Nicholas?
Pretty much community. I've been really involved in the Discord and like just the general positiveness and people. You don't release a video and get like 28 hours of the game. Like Simon is putting out this week a video about the alpha, and you don't get like 50 people saying, "Well, you promised in the alpha day today, you didn't deliver."
Yeah.
Mostly positive
Very positive.
comments, mostly people hype for the game, and so that kind of great community who's positive, it brings a good game, because you don't get developers who are like, well, what do we care, because even the community is not gonna love the game. So
Yeah.
I think that having that really positive community is really a great aspect of it.
And is there anything that you guys are thinking, I mean, personally, or the community has said, that is like, I desperately want you guys to put this thing in the game, whether it's a feature or, yeah. Like, is there something that you're like, I really, really want this in the game?
My community is one of the questions they have and they really want to know is about the clan system. So what are gonna be the clan modes? Because we are like a team players, so we are excited to work as a team. So we are interested in clan features really a lot. What
Okay.
are those?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, so our system for that is going to be frankly awesome. Like, I think the biggest thing that we're doing, we understand that clusters. I think we talked about this in maybe another episode a little bit, but the clusters are just a thing that happen in these games, right? It's not just that you have a clan or a guild, but whatever it's called, in the particular game that you're playing. It's not that you have just like 20 or 30 people that you play with. The really dedicated players get together and do these big clusters, right?
We got like for like a lot of games, like 10 guilds sometimes, clusters.
Exactly. Yeah, and so if you look at that, and it's like, a lot of these games just aren't really supporting it. They're not making it easy for players to do that, and there's no easy way in game to communicate and connect with those people. It's kind of like, okay, because you go to Discord and you kind of like do this. Well, okay, I've got it on my phone. I'm on Discord. I'm figuring out where I'm going to place my guys or whatever. We really want to try to lean into making it so it's easy for people to not only communicate and connect with their guilds or their clans, but also with their clusters, right? And to make management of those actually a possibility and something that's interesting and fun. So that's, I don't want to like leak a bunch of stuff around that and how we're thinking about that, because we're trying to focus on the alpha. But I do think that system is going to be another one that's going to be another of our strong suits. Because again, going back to this thing that we just talked about, which is our community really is our strength, right? And so anything that we can do to make it so people can connect with their friends, connect with the other players that are playing Godforge, that's what we want. We want to facilitate that, right? So yeah, I
Even
unfortunately I can't give you too much more other than it's gonna be robust and it's gonna be fun. And we're gonna have different modes where you guys are gonna be able to use the collective power of your group to do cool things.
yeah, even little features like clickable Discord links in your client description that people can actually click and just go into your
And boom,
cluster
you're in the
Discord.
Discord. Exactly.
Little things like that really help.
Mhm.
So that's what is one of the questions. Is that's gonna be part of Godforge clan system? Clickable links, like at least to certain platforms.
Yeah, I mean, and there is this hasn't been finalized and hasn't been the integration isn't done, but there is a Discord specific integration, and we are aiming to, assuming everything works out the way that we want to, because it's not just our business that we have to connect with. If that ends up working, we'll have a Discord integration, and so things will be even smoother. Hopefully, that's because our whole business is on Discord. Everything we do is on Discord. When we work with other
Everything.
companies, they're like,
I
"Oh,
don't use anything else than Discord.
oh, can you use Slack?" And we're like, "No, we don't use Slack. I'm sorry, guys. We only use Discord."
And we
They're like,
and we
"What?"
gave it the college try. We tried, but it always ends up not working.
We're like, "No, we don't do Slack. Discord." It's funny. We've actually had big companies have been like, "Okay, I guess I can give you my Discord handle and we can communicate that." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what we're gonna have to do. Sorry, man." This
Yeah,
is not
that's
a Discord ad, by the way. We're
this
not
is a new
associated with them.
new messaging app.
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Nico? Nicholas?
I think that the most fun features I'm hoping for is some way to challenge your clanmates and friends.
Mm.
I think that it's really missing in most of those games where you're part of a clan and you can't even challenge your friend to test
Yeah, the
your
test
team.
fights,
So
man. What the heck?
yeah,
Yes, agreed. 100%. We got you, man. That's that's definitely on the roadmap. Like I think that it's a no-brainer, and really the only reason not to allow that is if as a company would be like, "Oh, well, if I think that because of this now they're not going to play the other modes. They're not going to spend, you guys aren't going to spend your time going and farming and doing the stuff that builds your account. It might mess you up and stuff like that." That doesn't make any sense. Like people want to like go off and level up and get cool and then be like, "Brad, I got a team. Are you ready?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got you. Let's go." And then you can have a little fight, or you can set up a little tournament. Like that's the kind of thing. Again, community. Like we wanted to make it so people can have fun, can do like make their own events like that. Because so many of the forever games out there have really built everything around community, right? So you look at World of Warcraft, you look at Minecraft, you look at Roblox, you look at any of these games, right? Everything is centered around kind of like the user generated content, and our version of UGC is user generated like experiences, right? Meaning that you guys decided to do like a one-on-one or like a little tournament. That's a little UGC type of thing, and without that, it's much easier to just say like, I just want to try something else because I don't get to like play with my friends. I'm just off in my little corner grinding and trying to level up my account, and I'm not connected to my community.
Yeah,
We want to get rid of that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because being like a daily raid streamer for 4 years, you know how many fun events I would have done and custom tournaments, and I couldn't do anything. Like, shout out to Mad Capper. Sham's exact situation happened. He was talking smack one day, like, "I've got a team you could not defeat. Like, there's nothing you could do, Chosen." And I was like, "Okay, put your defense up. I'm gonna spend gems on refreshes until I find
I'm
you."
gonna find you.
But we couldn't even jump into like a
You couldn't even
1v1.
find him. Oh
Yeah.
god.
Like I sat here for like 30 minutes trying to find him in the defense log. I'm like, well, I guess I can't even try. But that would have been like great content, and that sort of like engagement would have been a lot of fun, and you just can't do it in a lot of these games.
Yeah, it's
That's what Etheria did very well,
Mm.
allowing everyone just to run different contests, tournaments. That's our big W.
Honestly,
Yeah.
big shout out to Etheria. Like I've been playing Etheria just because I think that they're just doing a great job. And just shout out, like they're doing a really, because they're very focused on this PvP aspect. And I think that there's, obviously there's things that they could adjust and make better and stuff like that as every game has. But I think that that's a big W for them, big win. that they've got this, they've got a way that you can connect with your friends, and you can just set up a little room, and it's awesome. Like, so yeah, so we'll definitely grab that, and we'll do our best to improve it and make it our own.
Yeah, that's very important also for even like clan versus clan when you have your defenses and you want to test them.
Yeah.
Even like in King Arthur, they have, when you set up your defense, every clanmate can attack your defense in the panel. So that way
That's cool.
everyone can be testing. You can actively like modify your team so they can attack again and test things. So these little features are really good.
Yeah, it's and that's the thing. That's the great thing about this. This is, this alpha test, coming back to kind of the main part of the discussion. This alpha test is really about getting that game feel first. Okay, are we doing something that people will want? Because no one's going to grind in a game that they don't like the mechanics of, right? So did we nail the mechanics? Did we get the feel right? And then it's a fun event for everyone to get really excited about. I'll let Simon do the leak on everything that is going to be going on with that event and all the cool stuff we're doing with that. But so it's a fun event. It's community driven. It's going to be great for people that are streaming. As you mentioned, you wanted to stream Godforge. Yeah, do it, man. I mean, like that's what we want people to get hyped up about it. And then phase 2 is like, okay, now we've got all these features. Let's take all the quality of life stuff that we've been seeing come up along the way for all these other games, some ideas of our own that we haven't seen other games do, and get them in there, right? And get it, and then get the feedback on, okay, did that feel good? Is this actually making it more fun? Is this facilitating something that's different and useful to you, or is it like this is just wasting UI space?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good approach. Are you gonna be testing people reaction to the graphic design? All the graphics. Is that gonna be like? Is that like gonna be almost like a final version, or it's still like work in progress?
You're saying that the current like the current
Like
UI,
an
is that the question?
alpha, yeah, alpha.
Yeah. No, this not. So alpha is alpha. Like there's lots of things that we know that we're still polishing. As even the stuff that we're putting out that we're like, this is good. It's still being polished, right? There's some clipping on cloth in some of the characters, for example. Not a lot, but let's say you might see it and be like, oh, good. We knew we were going to get to this. We just haven't got to that yet. Same thing with like the UI. It's like we're testing these layouts. We want it to feel, going back to this game feel idea, we want it to feel good, right? We want it to feel like, okay, this is where a button should be. This is the UX. This is the experience of click this, I go there, I do that, I get this thing, whatever. So, none of this stuff is final by any stretch of the imagination. That's the point of this test, is to get real good feedback and have time to make those changes before we go live.
Lovely,
I
lovely.
know Simon doesn't want to spoil the whole game, or at least Dan doesn't let him. So the main focus of gameplay footage was campaign and alpha cavern, but how's the rest of the game coming along while you're working on the alpha?
Okay, yeah. So it's coming along really, really well. It's like we've just recently split into what I talked about kind of earlier in the discussion. We split into 2 branches. There's the one branch where it's like, okay, we've locked the features down. You can't put any more big stuff in. It's only focused on bug fixing and little tweaks and stuff like that. That's what you guys are going to be you'd be playing essentially, right? Then there's the actual there's the rest of the game, right? And so tons and tons of art assets every day, literally tens of thousands of files is probably the actual number, are being put into the game, optimized, tested on for how performant they are, load times, all that type of stuff. So that all that work continues. And the good thing about, like, we set a limited number of heroes and features, as you guys just heard, for this, which means that everybody else just continues working on the end of the game. And just for some context on where we're at, like to give you some real information about that. So we've got the concept art team is already doing live content, as in live ops content, as in post launch content, art now. That's already happening. The 3D team, character team, they're close to that. They're very close to that. And then the environment team, they're a little bit less far along, but that's because there's more polish and some stuff that we're doing there. But yeah, we're at a good pace. The cutscene team is at a great pace. They're oh my gosh. Again, once you guys see these cutscenes, they're so good. They're so well done. So that's a good pace. Yeah, I mean everything is in a good spot. This is the good thing. So we're just trying to. This alpha is really going to give us the information that we need to say, okay, yes, we've. I think the community, has given great feedback on the heroes already. And now it's about polishing and making and even enhancing them further. So that's through lighting, that's through some like shader optimization, that's through polishing VFX, like standardized or not standardized, but bespoke VFX for different heroes. It's really through like making them even cooler than they already are. So everything you guys see is going to be, hopefully you'll be like, oh, this is pretty cool. It'll be much better by the time we get to alpha, obviously, or sorry, beta, but obviously.
Cool.
And another cool question maybe for Chosen is, you design most of those heroes kits. So is there some hero besides the starter that you want people to test and see how they react to those kits?
I've got one.
Yeah, I've got a few. And if you're asking me from like a design perspective, I guess I could kind of lean off of that and go about the thing I'm most interested to get feedback on is probably the ultimates. We kind of know what players expect from basics and cores and cooldowns, but what I want to know is, does it feel good being able to ultimate the way that we have it set up, or would you like less restrictions or more restrictions? Are you getting your ultimate too fast or too slow? Are you facing enemy ultimates too often or too little? That's going to be the system that we really have to dive into.
So sick.
And we're taking a big swing for the fences, and if we pull it off well, it's going to be an awesome hit. So we really want a lot of feedback on that initiative, kind of ultimate system, divinity, and all of that's going to be very important. The hero that I'm most interested in terms of like their kit on getting feedback is honestly, I don't even know if something I can leak yet. But you go ahead, Sham. I think you had one. Or wait,
Okay,
you can't leak yours either?
I'm just going back. I'm just trying to decide if whatever. I'll just say it. It doesn't matter. If it's a leak, it's a leak. But I think you guys have already seen Shamash.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, Shamash. This is the. But dear Lord, his kit. If this ships, I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't be too sad about it since he's got my namesake. But yeah, I think Shamash is one of those ones where I absolutely love. Have we talked about his kit at all? I don't know if we have.
We have shown what he looks like and all that, but we have not talked about his exact kit.
But no kit.
Yep.
All right. Probably not the time. Probably not the time. I'll let Simon. So I know. It's I don't know. We can give one. We'll give one. So he basically has. He is the join attack guy. I would say he is ridiculously good. So joint attack is like ally attack. I don't know what or other games will call it, but man, it's savage when he gets in there and he does his core and you're just like, holy crap, that's a lot of damage coming through from because it's the whole team. So he's one that I'm interested to see if he's maybe a little bit too savage. But he's certainly fun to play with. There's no question. And that's, I guess, going back philosophically to the way we think about a lot of this stuff. We really want everyone, not everyone, but a lot of the heroes to feel overpowered in a sense. If there's enough overpowered stuff, then no, you're not overpowered. You know what I mean? Like if it's like if everyone is special, no one is special. We want to make sure that that you have lots of options to do really cool things. And it's not just like, oh, I've got this hero and they hit kind of hard. And you're like, well, what else do they do? Well, they don't do anything else. And they're just kind of boring. Like we don't want boring heroes. We want characters that feel overpowered, but are not overpowered, I guess is the best way to think of it.
Yeah,
I feel like
we have a little bit of debate in the team, but I agree, Sham. I think Shamash's kit is pretty cracked.
It's savage. It's ridiculous. But we'll see. We'll see where it gets to.
I feel like making champions that are really overpowered, but only overpowered while using with other champions, but not
combo
are
champions.
not overpowered just on their own.
Yeah.
That way you can just create more overpowered characters that are not overpowered, but you have to just build teams
You got
overpower
those little
teams.
combos. Yeah, and that's another fun one is is finding those pairings or even trios that can do really cool stuff. I won't
Mm,
confirm or deny that there's anything like that happening in the game, but
of
just
course
saying.
not.
um,
Sure not.
yeah. Well, so I guess Brad, you wanna run us out with that with our most important question, our final
Yeah.
question, and get us out of here?
Yeah. This has been a blast, guys. Thanks for joining us. And if you're familiar with some of the previous episodes, one thing we like to ask on the way out is give you an opportunity to say, do you have a certain myth or legend that you would like to see in Godforge if it were up to you? Is there anybody that stands out to you? And we'll start with you, Mighty.
A myth of legend.
God, myth, or legend? Yeah.
Yeah,
Who would be
I
that
mean,
hero that maybe you haven't heard that you're like, oh man, I hope that they have
And we've
this.
had,
I mean,
like
I think,
go ahead.
to be honest, Arthurian legends, King Arthur. I think that would be
Arthurian
quite
legends,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've confirmed Arthur.
Yep.
Arthur in there.
Yeah, he's been shown many
Yeah.
times. Yep.
But yeah, so like, is there one that kind of pops out to you, like one of the heroes?
Well, although like Caliburn Arthur, so like
Yeah,
Caliburn, this
Yeah.
sword. So
Yeah.
that would be nice if you could have this type of weapon but this weapon have some bonuses but have also a curse on it that takes away some abilities or like locks you out like every 3 turns, locks out all your skills for
Cursed
1 turn.
Cursed weapons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That
Again,
could be
can't
that
confirm or
could be
deny
cool.
anything, but yeah, I like that answer. Love it.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And then Nicholas?
Well, you already have some angels and echo, so I think that demons faction would be really great for the game at some point, and it will let the creative team go wild because there's no like, okay, it should look like that, it should have that kind of kit. It would be free roam. So I think some demon faction would be really cool.
The mythological demons. Yeah, we've got some I mean, the great thing about what we've done with like all the different factions that we have, or different mythologies essentially, is that there's a lot of demons in these different factions. So yeah, I mean, if you've got if at some point you're like, oh, I want this specific one, shout it out, man.
Yeah. Well, Cthulhu was always a favorite of mine, so Lovecraft will collab
Lovecraftian, yeah, we've heard that
eventually
before.
as a
Yeah.
world boss or something like that. Will make total sense. Like if you got like 10 gods teaming up, it needs to be something big. So Cthulhu would be my thing for
Your
a
number one
world
pick.
boss.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, guys. Like I said before, and we will definitely link to their channels down below. Definitely check out their content, crushing it over there as well. And we'll also have the Discord and all that good stuff for you to provide feedback on Godforge, anything you like, dislike, and all that good stuff. So, thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you soon in the next Fateless podcast episode.
Thanks for hanging
Cheers.
out.